championships. And also to backtrack once, that one of the earliest basketball memories I have is of it's a Laker Spurs memory, and that was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, one known as one of the top 5 players of all time. He was doing his farewell season. Like before the season, he was like, "This is going to be my last season," and so every arena that he went to, they had like a special uh, novelty thing where it'd be like, "Oh, it's Kareem's last season. Yay, Kareem. Farewell to Kareem." And when the Lakers came and played in San Antonio, there was a big hype with t-shirts and posters. It's like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's last time playing in San Antonio. And the thing is, me and my twin brother, we had 2 older sisters that were 4 years older than us. And we were the ones, like, we ended up loving basketball, but our father went to that game and he took our sisters and not us. But that's not even the half that's worst of it. It's like we must have, you can look up to see how old I was. So old me and my twin brother were, because we were born in 79 or 80. And so this was sometime in the 80s. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's last game in San Antonio, Texas. And our father, he was too cheap to get a babysitter for me and my brother. And so he not only took our sisters to the game who didn't even like basketball, but he instead, acted like me and my brother had gotten into trouble for something. And he made us stay in our room for like 5, 6 hours straight with no TV, no radio. And we just sat there. And I remember, I swear, you're not supposed to swear, but I remember me and my brother talking and saying, we didn't even do anything wrong. Why are we supposed to stay here? And a couple of times we'd like creep out and look, and like we'd try to, convince the one or the other to go down and try to sneak some food. But we stayed in our room the whole time. And they drove to downtown San Antonio and drove back to the suburbs. And then when they got back, like late at night, like we were told that we were in trouble and we couldn't leave the room. And I remember speaking with my brother, being like, we didn't do anything wrong. And us speaking, let's say, we exactly said, remember this as adults, that we did nothing wrong and that they just punished us for no reason, and that we have to stay in this room and go without food, and we did nothing wrong. And remember that as adults. And I did remember that. So to my younger self, hey, I remembered. But they got home and it was like 10 or 11 late, I remember. And they weren't all upset with us. We're like, coward, like we didn't want to get beat with a belt or anything, which was happened a lot. But they came home and they were all happy and they had posters and t-shirts. And then they were like, oh, sorry, you boys had to stay home, blah, blah, blah. But here's a poster of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And then so like they gave us this like the free poster that everybody got at the game. And so me and my brother are like looking at it like, should we hang it up? Our room was empty with no toys, nothing. So all we had was this Kareem Abdul-Jabbar poster. And we put it up briefly, but then me and my brother were like, what do we even have that up? We watched wrestling at that time before we got into basketball. But this crunkly old free Kareem Abdul-Jabbar poster. And it was one of those posters where you like stand next to it, except it wasn't an actual size. It was like the size of a magazine. And so it still had a